The session should we now make a host? Let the session begin.
She is the host now, sir.
Aditi, please start the session.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, hello, I'm Aditi. I'll be taking your CSAT sessions. So, this is our first meeting. So, and now that we are in February, you all must be feeling that rush, na? That exam is very close and going for GS preparation like anything. February will pass like anything, and you'll be standing in March. Okay, and that rush is unimaginable. Okay, it will increase with every passing month. So in SOMP, this time, like, we are launching the CSAT course where we'll be helping you manage this CSAT preparation beforehand along with your GS preparation, so that you can be really confident going from here to next month. And this preparation will not be taking a very long time. Let's say many of you will be thinking of doing some courses about numerical ability, basic numeracy, logical reasoning. And I have seen, okay, there are like 150 lectures for the same. That is too much of a time, and each lecture won't be less than 1.5 hours. So that kind of time to invest in CSAT is a very big mistake, according to me, because CSAT still is a qualifying paper, and it will be qualifying paper. It's just how you approach it. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes,
Anybody?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is our course, Runway to CSAT. Let's start with the basics first. Okay. So all of you know what is CSAT?
You please give a brief about this.
Okay, sir. Okay. So CSAT is basically a qualifying exam that UPSC takes, and it is like, if you qualify CSAT now, then only your GS copy will be checked. So CSAT, while it seems like it is just a qualifying exam, it is very important for you to qualify that exam. Without it, you stand nowhere. Okay, and this exam, it will be testing your aptitude and analytical abilities. And much more than that, you might have seen from last year papers that it has gone beyond, above and beyond all these things. So this exam, it will have 80 questions, all will be objective type, and just like your GS exam, it will be 200 marks and 2 hours for the same exam. Okay, so this is a basic exam. It will be GS paper 2. You'll be taking this exam in the evening after you have after you're done with your GS. Okay, for syllabus, as it is mentioned in UPSC formal syllabus, these are like a few pointers they have given, but basically we take the idea of what is actually UPSC asking from previous year papers. But basically this will be around these things only. Like, first is reading comprehension. There will be about 25 to 27 of reading comprehension every year that you will be seeing in your paper. They'll be sparse, like 3 or 4 questions you'll get first comprehension, then there'll be other section of the paper this logical reasoning, numeracy, basic numeracy, all these kind of things. Okay, so this is how your paper will be. One section will be reading comprehension, then it will be this other part, then again reading comprehension, then basic numeracy. And if you will observe, there will be questions will be given in kind of sets. For example, if they are asking a question about directions, there will be one or two questions that will be on the same page. So this is a good benefit of this paper. Like you can attempt your paper in sets. We'll see when we do this paper analysis. You can see that thing later. Okay. Now coming to the most important thing here, what is required to qualify this exam numerically? Okay, it only needs 33% of marks. That will be like out of 200, you need at least 67 marks to qualify. If you get 67, you have qualified. If you get 68, you still have qualified. If you have 70, 100, 120, or even 200, you have qualified. Doesn't matter, okay? If you have got 200 marks, they won't be counted in your main mark sheet. Okay, so basic target is you should not get 67 marks. This is what qualifying means. Okay, and as I have already told that if you qualify this exam, you get the 67 marks, that is net 27 questions correct, then only your GS paper is going to get evaluated. Otherwise, you are just out of the race in the first step only. Okay, so total questions are 80. Per question marks will be 25%, and you'll be 1/3 will be negative marking. Okay, this negative marking you should be really careful about. You are already, I guess, if you have practiced this. Okay, so let's move on to next thing. Okay, so this paper till 2011 to 14, this paper marks in this paper were counted in your final total. So it was a very different sort of paper back then. After 2015, this paper was made qualifying. And since then, this paper has been evolving year by year. If you see from 2015 to 17, perhaps UPSC itself was figuring out how to go about this paper. It is just that 67 marks are needed. So if you see papers in those years, they were relatively very simpler. I mean, not only question wise, but length of the paper was also very doable, and the variety of the questions was also very mixed, and you could easily sail through. And that was the time when people used to solve 60 to 65 questions, 70 questions easily. There was such a time. Okay, from 2018 to 20, there was a slight shift in the paper, and this paper started becoming a little more specialized. um, Specialized in the sense that more UPSC oriented. There will be so many exam. You might have seen there are every exam now have one of this CSAT or general aptitude sort of a test, but the UPSC CSAT test is very much different nowadays from what other exams are having. Even if you are attempting some state exam, that paper will be entirely different from what UPSC is doing these days. And then 21 to 24 period, that this has been, if somebody has taken that exam in any of these years, they'll know like how bad it can go. You can be so, your GS paper can go like anything, but the moment that CSAT paper came, everyone was shocked. 2023 was a disaster year when it came to CSAT. Many of you will recall that it has one of the most historic low qualifying marks in GS, 75, right, sir? And that was one reason behind it was the number of students that failed in CSAT. Many of the good students, they also failed in CSAT that year because the paper was tough. It was lengthy, it was tough, and there was also some setback from the GS paper because 2023 GS was also very unusual type of paper. So you see, it's just not what CSAT is, but its overall condition that what you are attempting in CSAT, what mindset you are going with this for the CSAT exam, that will also affect your marks in this paper. Okay. Now from here we'll see how topic wise this paper has evolved. Okay, so first question, when you open the CSAT paper, it will be reading comprehension. First 2-3 questions, it will always be reading comprehension. UPSC reading comprehension, if anyone of you might have seen the paper, it is different from others reading comprehension, because it is not based on what you're reading in that comprehension, but what you can infer from it, what your background knowledge is. You can, just by reading that comprehension, you'll never be able to come to the correct answer. And there is one more thing, many of you, or most of the people that I know, they feel that they are not confident in English. But the thing is, this paper is hardly about English. These reading comprehensions, they really don't have much to do with English. And if you are any good in your GS preparation, and if you have prepared for mains even slightly, you will get the answer very quickly. And by quickly, I mean you don't even have to read the comprehension part. All you need is to read the questions and start writing answer. I use this trick, and I used to get in first 30 minutes, I used to solve all the comprehension questions. That will be like 27 questions. I'll be done. In first 30 minutes, I would have finished 27 questions, and my accuracy rate, as far as I have seen from previous year papers, it was around 27, 25 to 24 questions I would get correct. Okay, now if something like this happens to you, 24 to 25, you know that in first half an hour, you know that, okay, I'm getting this many marks. How many questions you need to you reach that 67 threshold? Probably next 5-6 question more if you are doing it correctly. So if you can do your reading comprehension right, that is like half your paper is done then and there only in first half an hour or 45 minutes. That is how reading comprehension is important. Now, if you see the structure of the questions, these passages over the time have become very vague, very long. And last year, 2024 paper, it was around 43 pages. Okay, so out of that 43 pages, you have 120 minutes and 43 pages. So you have hardly like 3 minutes to read each page. And if one page has 400 or 600 words, and then questions, the substance in the question also needs to be counted, you will never finish this paper. You will never even get around to see all of the questions also. This I can say, if you're sitting there and reading every question, this is not possible. Okay, and we can say that with how UPSC has been acting, CSAT can be that thing that becomes unpredictable with every coming year, because this thing is evolving like anything. Okay, now the question, as I've told, they are not directly from the passage, they are inference based questions, and they will mostly test how your GS knowledge is. If in forthcoming sessions, we'll be seeing how this reading comprehension, what is the running theme in most of the reading comprehension questions. It will be policy, it will be governance, it will be social issues, it will be environmental sustainability, it will be science and tech. These are the questions, and these are mostly taken from sources that you might be reading, but the questions will be very much out of that passage. So you will have to develop some sort of thinking that will help you reach the answer. Okay, so the direct answers, there are no direct questions, so there is no question of direct answers also. Okay, now numerical ability. This is like basic numeracy, or all these things, quantitative aptitude. And this question, number of questions in the paper is around 40. Earlier, it used to be very simple. Okay, and you could do it was very simple calculations. You could you could attempt so many questions in very little amount of time. But um, in the last, when I'll be sharing with you the 2024 paper, you will see that even though the question might be very simple, but the calculations are a headache now. You cannot just go without practice into this exam and expect that you will be able to do those calculations. It will take not just practice, but you will also need to learn a few tricks here and there, like how to speed multiply numbers, how to speed divide the numbers, how to read percentages, or how to read all these decimals and stuff. Okay, how to read the signs. You will be needing that sort of specialization in numeracy to solve the questions. Okay, in last 2 3 years, what has been happening is UPSC every year will be giving a question. Okay, and it will be a very simple question on the first go, but because we are not used to that kind of seeing that kind of question in UPSC CSAT, we usually get afraid of that question. But next year there'll be coaching walas and they'll be telling you all the solutions. Okay, this is how you apply divisibility rule, or this is how you apply those cutting the cubes question. What UPSC will do, it will still ask the same question, but it will increase the level of specialization that is needed to solve that question. So what we have to do is, like, whatever previous year questions we have to practice them so much that UPSC can ask it in any way and we should be able to get answer out of it. The topic will be same. Divisibility rule, yeah, it is divisibility rule. But how you apply it, to what level of specification it will go, that we have to prepare ourselves for. Okay, so that for that we need to practice and there is no way around. And but the good thing is that we don't really have to practice each and everything. We have to sort out the areas that we are good in, and then we have to practice questions in that area. If you are not comfortable with calendars, just don't do it. The whole paper cannot be about calendars, no, it will be maximum 2 questions. You can leave that thing, but some parts you'll have to do, and you have to identify what those parts are and you have to work on them. One more thing that has happened in numerical ability is the length of the questions. Now these questions are not just given in form of numbers only, numbers equations. These questions are being made so long, and they are being given in the format of statement analysis, that you have to, like, on one page there will be 2 sections in the paper. On one section there will be only a single question only. The length only is scary, and but if you read that question carefully, it will be so easy. It could have been solved just by reading it if you knew it how to do it. But when you are in exam situation and you see, okay, this is such a lengthy question, and you'll be leaving that question. So that thing you have to practice, that you have to get comfortable with the length of questions that is being given to you in exam along with basic numeracy. This is basically one question only. Okay, so next thing is logical reasoning. This is one part where you can score very good, but UPSC has been reducing the number of these questions very drastically. In last few years you will hardly find any questions that logical reasoning is needed for those. In last year you could find a few questions, but it is like it is, though it is a part of syllabus, there will be like 10 12 questions at max. Okay, so you can see that this part, but this part is easy to crack once you know, okay, this is how things are done. Like there will be word sequences. Okay, there will be this non-verbal reasoning sort of question there, that coding decoding, that requires very simple, very less amount of time, but whenever you find those questions, it will be so easy to crack them. The thing is that you should be able to reach to those questions, because if you are wasting your time in reading comprehension, or you are being muddled up in those long new basic numeracy questions, you will forget to attempt these questions. And these questions are like low hanging fruits of UPSC. Those 10-12 questions you just cannot miss. Okay, if you can do it with reading comprehension and just whatever question UPSC is given for this logical reasoning, you are sorted for your paper. You don't even need to touch your basic numeracy. Okay, nothing is basic about basic numeracy, by the way. Okay, so this is where I have summarized the recent trends, and you should know the trend. Okay, you cannot go into exam without knowing the trend. If you know that you CSAT is going to be tough, you will be prepared for that. An easy paper, even last year what happened, GS came out to be very easy. Even that shocked students, and many of the students made mistake there because they were not they were expecting a paper on the lines of 2023, and then 24 happened and it just took them off guard, and they made very silly mistakes, very silly mistakes. And the same thing can happen with you in CSAT also. You can go there expecting a very difficult paper, and paper could be easy, and then you might end up making silly mistake because in back of your mind you're thinking, okay, this might seem simple, but UPSC it might be a trap question, and you make that mistake. So what we need to do is that we need to understand that this is UPSC, this is going to be unpredictable, but somehow I have practiced so much that I should be confident. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of question that is, I should be confident in my answer. For me, when you are okay, let me tell you one more thing. You can never rely on suppose you have given that paper, you are out of CSAT exam. Now you are looking for answers. Okay, you will be running here and there from to find some CSAT keys, and trust me, most of the keys will be off. You can match it from any reputed institute, and still there'll be so many mistakes, and you will have that fear, okay, I did well in GS, and the CSAT is not looking good for me. That these answer keys can do to you. But trust me, when you have practiced well and when you have strategized well in exam, you will never have to look to those keys, because you would have prepared more than the person who is making that answer key. You should have practiced more than the person who is making that answer key. That person doesn't even know, he's not in the exam condition, and yet they are making mistakes. So you should have this idea, okay, that that person you should not even trust with the answer key. For CSAT I'm saying, GS, I hope they do, the educators are doing well. Okay, so even in this, in last 2-3 years, even the educators that are taking these answer keys and they are on YouTube, many of the answers are wrong. Okay, they are justifying the answers, but the answer are still wrong. So this is the kind of practice you need to do, and you should keep the trend that has been going on in your mind while practicing for CSAT. Okay, this is the overall analysis. Uh, Reading speed and comprehension, you have to increase. There is no other way around, because even basic numeracy questions are coming with these lengthy statements, and with lengthy statement analysis, they are putting very small the concept should be very small and very easy, but they are making this question such a long thing to read that you might want to skip it. Okay, then quick data interpretation, that is very important, because sometimes you get scared by seeing the numbers in the exam, or sometimes you are scared by seeing the symbols in the exam, but that should not be the case. If you have practiced well, you will be very able to quickly pick out what this topic is, what this trend is, what this data signifies. Okay, basic concept clarity you have to do. You have to find some things that you can be good at, and you have to practice those things. Don't have to do everything. This is not a SBI PO or some state exam, so you don't have to do everything under the sun, but just don't miss the topics that have been touched by UPSC previous year questions. Okay, so at least be good in those basics. Okay, now time management, as I've told you, you will have less than 3 minutes to go through each page in this paper, and since 80 questions, 120 minutes, you have 1.5 minute only to read that one question, to spend on one question. So you know that time management is going to be very tricky. And from my experience, what I know is this time management is one thing that fails many of the candidates in CSAT. They come from this exam expecting that okay, we'll be managing this time, we'll do this and this, but during those exam conditions, when you are not even sure what your answer is correct or not, that time flies like anything. And most many of the students I know, they don't even get to see the whole paper, and then they come and tell, I did not see this question, this was so easy, I knew these questions, I could have done it, but the time has passed. One thing is, it is one other thing to solve a question at your home, in the comfort of your home, and solve that same question in stress of that exam. So this thing you have to keep in mind, that you have to manage your time and you have to practice as if you are still sitting in the exam. Then only you'll know that how difficult the CSAT can be. And then selective attempting strategy. Okay, this is the paramount thing. What we have discussed is we need 27 net correct questions to qualify this exam. Okay, out of 80, 27 seems nothing, but trust me, it will be a challenge to do 40, 42, 43, 45 questions. Paper has been evolving in that direction. So this is a good thing and a bad thing, because you'll be needing very, you will be needing so much of accuracy and precision to scope through the paper and find the questions that you can attempt. You will be needing practice and speed for that. And good. Another thing is that you will be able to leave a few questions. You can comfortably leave many questions, and you should not worry about those. Just be confident in what you are attempting. Okay, now we come to the part that many of the students, it all seems very simple, 33% only, 67 marks out of 20, 200, and a simple reading comprehension and basic math, but still so many people will be failing CSAT. We might have seen testimonials, people are sharing it around YouTube when the mark sheet will be coming, that oh, I was scoring 120 in GS, but I failed in CSAT. I was scoring 100 in GS, I failed in CSAT. So why are these people failing? They are good in GS. So what, CSAT is almost nothing, no? In front of GS, you have to take like 1 year to prepare for GS, but for CSAT, you are, how can you fail in that? You have been doing CSAT for all your life, basic math, reading, and how can you fail? Okay, so now let's go through all these things. Puneet sir did summarize those points earlier, but let's go a little bit deep into this so that you all can actually uh, introspect. Now, am I doing this thing, or will this thing happen to me? You can just introspect. Okay, these points are for your introspection. Okay, preparation related challenges. First thing is overconfidence due to qualifying nature. Okay, tell me honestly, how many of you, it's February today, how many of you have started with your CSAT preparation? Or you have done classes, or you are confident that, okay, if today I get a paper in 80 questions, I'll be able to do at least 45. You can raise your hands. Anybody? No one. Not a single person has started with CSAT. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we all are guilty here, no? We have not started with, oh, that's good, Shaista. Congratulations. You're way ahead many. Okay. Everyone, please look at Shaista. She has done her CSAT. Where are you? Now, this is the overconfidence that we are talking about. You are less than 4 months into your have left for your CSAT, for your prelims exam, and you have not even started with your CSAT preparation. If I can anybody of you go through those 150 lectures? I don't think so. I couldn't, because the pressure of GS will be so much. I don't think so. I could have sat for those 150 lectures. This is less than 4 months.
Aditi, I think the right question is, do we need those 150-hour lectures? That's the right question. And for the CSAT, just to qualify, you don't need. Trust me on this, you don't need. Number one thing. Second thing is, those who have failed in CSAT, those who fear CSAT, those who feel that in the paper too, you will faint once you see the paper, or when you are not able to mark the question, when you are not able to attempt the paper. These things you need to tackle now, right? And although Aditi will further tell you that how we are going to handle these things, but those who have inherent fear for the CSAT, for them, I would like to tell you, I know one guy who failed in prelim 7 times, continuously 7 times. Initial 3 times because of GS, then continuously because of CSAT, and he was from MBBS side. So he was like, "Ki, my maths is very bad, I cannot do it, and I'm from Hindi medium, so English is pretty bad, and Hindi ke passages are quite tough to handle." Then in his eighth attempt, what he did, he started practicing the CSAT, and he said, "Let me take it head on. Whatever excuses I was giving to myself, those were wrong, because many MBBS candidates are getting top ranks." And like in UPSC, write it somewhere in your room. In UPSC, you do not have a choice. If tomorrow UPSC says that Chinese language, Mandarin is compulsory, and you have to pass that paper, every one of you will start preparing that. You have no choice. So instead of finding the excuses for the failure, you take this thing head on. Second thing is, entire day, suppose someone is waking up at 6 or 7, and you are starting your day by 8. From the 8 to night, let us say by 7 or 8, you are studying GS, but back of your head you have CSAT. Here I should do something about it, something about it. Today is first Feb, so you might be thinking, "Ki, from tomorrow I will do, from next week I will do." This is not the right way. If something in your life, if something in your examination bothering you, you take that thing to the first slot of the day. So if you are starting your day by 8, and if you have a fear of CSAT, by 8 to 10, that's the maximum time you have to devote for this. Maximum. And with the right strategy and guidance, all those things, 2 hours is sufficient. Even 1 hour is sufficient. But once you do CSAT in the early slot, then entire day with a peace of mind, you can prepare GS. And if you are doing GS entire day and you keep on thinking about CSAT, that's not the right way. Aditi, please continue.
And to take Sir's point forward, it is a very good mental ability exercise also, that you are solving a few questions in the morning, be it basic numeracy or be it logical reasoning. If you do those questions early in the morning, even for half an hour, your brain will be firing up the neurons at a speed that is unimaginable, okay, for the rest of the day. And the confidence is also one of the added positives. Okay.
Valid point. If you know this site, Mintra, so the founder of Mintra, Mukesh Bansal, ठीक है, he don't have to appear in the CSAT, but he do solve some quizzes and some questions just to have a good mind. So it's a valid point. Yeah, please continue.
Yes, sir. Okay, now next point will be the quality of practice that you will be putting in. February, okay, let's see, you are not much worried about CSAT in the February. March comes, okay, then you start doing that CSAT. But CSAT, at that point also, you'll be rushing to finish your test series for GS or GS syllabus and all that. At that time also, the quality of CSAT will suffer. It won't be the same that it will be now. Now you'll be focused more on the quality of the answers or how much time you are taking, or you will be more focused at learning the concept. But at that time, you will be, as the time nears to the exam, you will be just in rush. So that today you might think, okay, I might score 100 plus in CSAT, but as March come, this 100 plus will go down to 90. As April goes, that 190 will go down to 80. And by the time of exam, you will be just thinking about, okay, I just need 67, I just need 70, that is it, that is it. And that is because you are not practicing in the right time. When it becomes late, you'll be just doing things that you think might be sufficient for you to qualify that exam, but you try to learn a few things here and there, and when you go to exam, things are still the same, but they have increased the level, and then you lose all your cool, and even that touching that 70 becomes a big challenge. Okay, so this is what how it feels when you see it from perspective of a timeline. Then in market, there are insufficient full length practice papers. Insufficient in the sense that they do not reflect the quality of what UPSC will be giving you. These questions today will be mostly be generated by ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. So they'll be pushing that concept, but that thinking will be totally missing. So you will be practicing on very low quality of papers, and you will think, okay, I have practiced this thing, I know this thing, but when it comes to UPSC exam, that is a very different level of thinking. Okay, and then you will be practicing in if now I ask you, okay, multiply 32 into 14, you might take 1 or 2 or 3 minutes to do that simple calculation also, but that calculation in exam you'll have to do it in 20 seconds. That cannot come without practice. You will have to practice, you will have to learn something how to do that calculation. And later in this session, when we'll be looking at 2024 paper, I'll show you that you will be needing those calculations. It's not okay, I'm not comfortable with the calculations. You have to get comfortable with the calculations. You can't pass CSAT without learning how to calculate in quick manner. For that, you need to attempt your tests in timed manner, in very proper testing conditions also. Again, we have discussed that variety of practice questions is very limited, and once we have practiced the test, CSAT can be so tiring that you just don't really want to analyze how you have fared on that mock test. It is very tiring. Even 40-45 questions that can tire you out, and you will see this thing once you have attempted your CSAT. You won't be मन ही नहीं करेगा to see that thing. Okay, and this thing will be seen in your mock tests also. Next is we are coming to strategic mistakes. uh, I have seen a few coaching centers. They are teaching these questions like if there is a question where they have asked like, okay, what will be the minimum smallest number that will do so or so thing. Okay, and some coaching people will say that, okay, out of all these options, this is the smallest number, so you should randomly take it if you don't have time to solve it. And but you have to remember, you have negative marking. This kind of jugaadbazi or tikrambazi, whatever you can call it, this is going to cost you very badly in exam. You do 27 questions of reading comprehension correct, and you do 3 or 4 such mistakes, random guessing mistakes, and you are below 50 in the exam. That's the truth. Okay, and this again, next point, poor selection of the questions. I am wasting my time in a question that UPSC has deliberately put there to make me waste my time. UPSC is a very smart body. Okay, amidst all those questions, there will be some question that won't even need you to, run your pen on the paper. You could just see the question and you can answer it. But at the same time, there will be some question that might take you 4 to 5 minutes to solve. That is what you have to look. You have to have an eye to find the doable part in that paper, and that will come with practice. Okay, unplanned. Next question is Next thing is unplanned attempting sequences. Okay, if I don't know, I'm just going in the exam, I don't even know what my strategy is. Obviously, it will be much more difficult for me as against to a person who has practiced this paper, who knows how he or she is going to attempt this paper and is working in that direction. Yeah, I'm seeing reading comprehension. Oh my God, I can't do this. This is so long. This is taking so much of time. I move to next part. Basic numeracy. Oh, this is such a big calculation. I move to next part. If you keep on doing this thing, no, there is a chance that you might not even do 30 to 35 questions in exam because you are panicking, you're not solving, you don't even know what your strengths are, and you are just randomly picking questions, and in that sequence you'll miss the question that would have been easily been solved. Okay, and this is what will create panic in exam. Okay, and need not to say there will always be panic in the exam. There is one inherent panic, but when you have a poor strategy or no strategy at all how to attempt the paper, that panic will be multi-folded. Okay, multiplied to great extent. And again, the stress and pressure, those who have um, been in that situation, if you have attempted prelims earlier also, you'll know how it feels. Okay, you will, even it's not just about prelims. Okay, that stress everyone will be feeling. Okay, but how you are handling next 4 months, no, uh, that will be a game changer for most of you. If I am preparing for CSAT, suppose in a week only I am giving 2 or 3 hours. 2 or 3 hours is nothing. Okay, you can just stop scrolling reels for a while or not looking at some Instagram profiles. Okay, and even just that amount of time, if you can dedicate to your CSAT exam, no, in next 1 or 2 months, that fear will be completely eliminated. UPSC CSAT is one exam where if you have practiced well, you can develop a confidence that okay, I'll sail through this paper very easily. You have done your practice, you have learned your basic concepts. Okay, you know your strategy to solve this exam. 70 marks, getting 70 marks in this paper is one of the easiest step to do. Okay, this CSAT and that qualifying exams in mains, these are the easiest things to do, but trust me, because of strategic failures, because of the stress and pressure, people do fail in these exams, and that is the worst thing you can do to your preparation. Okay, and okay, anxiety will be there, and as exam approaches, you'll be more concerned about what I will tell my family. Okay, what my family will think of if I fail this exam. These things will come, and this is natural for everybody, but at least you be sure that okay, at least one part I'm not failing. GS, that's half luck, half practice, but CSAT, that is purely practice. Then time management issues, as I've told you, there are longer passages. They require a lot more time to read. Then more word problems, even in mathematical questions, we'll see in the paper later. Data interpretation questions becoming very lengthy. Okay, even statement analysis questions are become very lengthy, and what for me, I was comfortable, I would do, as I told you, in 30 minutes I'll be done with my reading comprehension. So whatever questions I was doing later, no, whether it was logical reasoning or basic numeracy, I had time to review those questions. So I was always sure while I am marking that question that I have solved this question, I have cross checked this question, this is the only answer. And I was confident while marking it, and that was one other reason that I never had to see uh, any of the answer keys, because I knew, okay, this I have done 45, 47, 48, 50 questions, and out of this, I have scope for getting 3 or 4 incorrect only. But as the paper gets lengthier, this time for revision and review is reducing. So you'll always be in rush to finish this paper, and I don't think so that UPSC will be reducing the length of this paper. Like it's 43 pages right now. It might come down to 40, 38, 39, but that paper is still very long. So keep that in mind. Now, examination approaches, uh, you'll be that allocation of the time to sections, no, that is also one of the very stressing areas. Most of the people will be giving importance to basic numeracy. They'll be learning so and so concepts, but the thing is that you only need a few basics, but you need to apply those basics in the right manner. And reading comprehension, some people will go and to exam thinking that I am not even going to look at the reading comprehensions. I'm not even going to attempt it because I always get them wrong. You are getting them wrong because you have not understood the philosophy behind the reading comprehensions. Same thing can happen to you in basic numeracy also. Tomorrow UPSC can come up with such an idea where they are asking basic numeracy, but they are asking something else. So that can happen to you. So never do this thing, that leaving a section completely. Try to be comfortable in all the sections and try to allocate that kind of time. Okay, this is the time I'll be giving to this section, and that you have to learn with practice beforehand. You have to identify your strength areas. Without that, if you know that you can do reading comprehensions well, so that will be a positive for you only. You're not giving this exam for anybody else. That's your strength area. You should work on it, you should practice on it, and you should make that at least this is the area where I will not be getting any negative marking. And it is possible, it's very much possible. Okay, and these points, other points we have discussed: ineffective question selection, lack of sectional preparational strategy. Okay, so now we come to this part where how not to fail in CSAT. Okay, so basic idea is please don't wait for CSAT exam. Prepare beforehand. Okay, in this exam, this is one particular part in UPSC where you can know that I'll be passing this exam even before you enter the exam hall. Simple thing, you have to practice. You have to practice beforehand. And this is why people will fail, because they are not even practicing. They are thinking it is a qualifying exam. I'll be dedicating a few hours to it, and then whatever happens, I'll see in the exam hall. That is when it becomes a stressing point. But if you have practiced, there is no way you can fail in CSAT. At least I don't know a person who has worked in CSAT and failed. Okay, now, but today is 1st of February. So we have some bad news for you. You have only 4 months left. Okay, less than 4 months, because February only has 28 days, I guess. And okay, in the what will happen from now on, that everything you'll be doing in a panic mode. Okay, February comes, and as it exits, um, it pushes that panic button for each one of you. Now you'll be rushing to some of you might be having your classes also. Some classes are still going on for basics. Okay, and then you'll be wrapping up your optional, and then you'll be wrapping up your GS, and then there are test series. So CSAT, you won't even have time to think about CSAT. But if you don't think about it, CSAT will not be forgiving for you. I know, okay, there are so many friends and students of mine that they're very good and very dedicated sort of aspirants. But even they take CSAT lightly. And I know of a person personally who scored 120 marks in 2023 GS paper, and he failed in CSAT. I know that this person very closely. Okay, so this can happen to you. It happened to him, and that is the person who has been qualifying this prelims in 5 times in a row. He has qualified. He has never failed in prelims. He was so confident because he was always thinking about prelims. And when he started giving prelims, CSAT was not this kind of tough. It is becoming tougher every year, and he failed. 6 times he failed, not because of GS. GS is still got 120, but he failed in CSAT. Okay, so this can happen. So you have to learn how to manage the stress. Now coming to some good news after some bad news. CSAT will only require 70 to 80 hours of your time in next 4 months, not more than that. If somebody has it, they can give more than they can give up to 100 hours, but I won't suggest that you do that. It's more than enough. 70 to 80 hours, you just plan. Okay, like 40 to 50 hours, you can go through some lectures, and rest whatever 30-40 hours you have to solve test. In 30 hours, in 20 hours you'll be solving 10 tests. That is more than enough. And those 10 tests should be your PYQs, because PYQs are the holy grail for CSAT. Okay, and we'll be solving it here at SOMP. Okay, question by question we'll be doing that. And coming to next part, you don't need to solve all the 80 questions. All you need is 35 to 40 correct questions. Reading comprehensions, I can guarantee you will be doing 25 plus correct questions. For rest of the basic numeracy and logical reasoning, all you will be needing is 10 to 15 questions correct only. Okay, that should help you qualify CSAT with ease. You know? Now,
This is an ideal scenario. Like, matlab, what she is saying that you should have this much correct question. One more thing I would like to add that many candidates they attempt 28 question, 29 question, and they are like, I should clear the CSAT. That is not the way. 35 to 40, she is not telling you to attempt. She is telling you that this much correct question you need. Okay, there is a big difference, and for that you need to increase your number of attempt. And in the CSAT, if you can, with right practice, right guidance, if you can increase your number of attempt, your chances of clearing CSAT becomes high. But without practice, if you are going to do it, then certainly you are going to fail, because negative marking is there, right? And one more thing I would like to add that some of the time we say that we have to practice only certain areas. Even I tell this to my students most of the time, that you pick the simple topics, you practice those topics, you will clear the CSAT. But sometimes some question come from that area which are quite tough to handle, right? So you need to have some edge, and to have that edge, more number of topics you cover, better for you. But you don't need to cover the tougher topics. There is no need for that. Yes, please continue.
okay, so like sir has said that we should at least know about a little bit about every topic, because you don't know what might strike into your mind, and you might end up solving a very difficult question with great ease, but you might not be able to solve a very simple question because it might have been framed in such a way that you just look at the question and you get this fear, okay, I can't do this question, and you're not doing it. So this is what will happen when you practice it, when you have this habit of sitting with this paper, because we are always in such a hurry to solve everything or every question that we really don't put that effort in knowing what I'm comfortable with this, where are my strength areas, how should I manage this time. And in CSAT, this is the core of your, this should be the core of your preparation. Okay, completing syllabus might not help you clear CSAT, this I can tell you, but strengthening those area, managing time, and practicing even the simplest or the of the topics will help you clear this exam. Okay, so now coming to back to our course, today we are launching a special course for you people, and this is called Runway to CSAT. Okay, and here our basic idea will be to make you comfortable with the paper, and this comfort you should have before you go to exam. In February or March only you should have this confidence, okay, if even if somebody wakes me up in the night and gives me this paper, I should be able to solve correctly at least 40 to 45 questions with or without revision. Okay, this should be the confidence. That confidence will help you with greatly with your GS. One more thing, in GS also, there are a few elements of CSAT exam that have been seen in recent exams. That statement analysis question, only one statement is enough to deduce this thing. All these questions you might have seen. Those are part of CSAT, and they require logical thinking. Okay, if you practice these questions, no statement analysis, that will help you in at least 2 to 3 questions in your UPSC exam also. UPSC has been GS exam also. UPSC has been experimenting with questions or the format of the questions lately, and you can expect a few of those questions. But the important thing to realize is that those questions are not necessarily knowledge based question. They are logic or common sense based question. If you know how to do that, it will be like free questions for you. Okay, just go and look in the previous year paper, you'll find such questions. Now, why we are here? Okay, it's not just for the course, but because you people are SOMP's family. Okay, and every selection matters to us. If you fail in this exam, no CSAT, there is no point of preparing for anything. Your whole 2 year preparation will go down the drain. 1 year that you have been preparing for this year, and if you fail in the CSAT only, you will be preparing the same thing for the next year. So the setback of these 2 years, you'll never recover. Okay, so this thing you have to keep in mind, that it is essential for you to qualify your CSAT so that your journey can begin. This is the starting point, and there should be no way that you can fail at least in this step. Just ask anybody who might have failed in the CSAT how difficult it is to come back from that failure. And once you fail in CSAT, no, that fear will never go away from you. You'll always be afraid of CSAT no matter how much you practice. Same thing is with GS, but CSAT, it is more difficult to come back from that failure because it was a qualifying exam. GS, you still have some competition. You are still competing for marks. Or CSAT, your competition is you only. You are not competing against anybody. Okay, so you have to remember this fact. Now, okay, we want to make sure that none of you go through that thing. Now, this is our course, Runaway to CSAT. I'll brief you about this. Okay, so this is our 2025 course, and there I have summarized how the trend of questions been past few years. In 2020, there were like 25 reading comprehension, and after that 27, 27, 26, 27. So you have the number of reading comprehensions has been pretty much the same all these years, and these are very much doable. I will teach you how to do it. You'll be able to attempt those reading comprehension with great accuracy. Okay, 80 to 90% of accuracy. And then the quantitative aptitude, you see there are 40, 36, 35, 44, 38. 2023 was particularly difficult because of this 44 number of questions. Quantitative aptitude, people were going betting on a logical reasoning. There were only 10 questions. That's why 2023 was a very difficult year for people who were taking CSAT lightly. Okay, and this thing 38 questions. Okay, this 24 became moderately easy, but what I have to tell you is that the quality of the questions, it increased. The concepts became a bit more specialized in 2024. So it was again a bit difficult paper. Then this is where we have analyzed how quantitative aptitude, reading comprehension, logical reasoning, how the trend has been in general. We have discussed it earlier also. And this is what a CSAT, a Runway to CSAT will be offering you. Okay, so here we are doing the exam before the exam sort of thing. You will be preparing in exam conditions. The classes will be interactive. You will be solving some live questions. There will be practice questions at the end of the session. There won't be much, at least 10 or 15 questions, but that should be sufficient to give you the confidence. We'll be solving reading comprehensions in every session. 5 will be doing. Okay, and our major focus will be on the previous year papers because that is the holy grail of UPSC preparation, and you have to prepare from there only. If you run from one coaching to another, they might teach you the concepts, but they might not be able to prepare you for the exam because the quality of questions is anyway questionable. Okay, they will never match the quality of UPSC questions. Okay, our idea is that you should not fear CSAT, not for a minute. Once you have given those 40, 50 hours, 55, 60 hours, you are sorted for CSAT, not for this attempt, but God forbid if somebody has to take another attempt, you will be sorted for that attempt also, because CSAT is one thing that if you prepare once in a holistic manner, it will stay with you for your whole journey. And all you will be needing is some practice, no more sessions. Okay, this is what is needed out of CSAT. So there are some syllabus that you can see later, and this is what our program will look like. 5 RC questions that as I have told. The length of session, it will be 2 hours approximately, not more than that, because we also know that your focus is more on the GS side. So 2 hour approximately, maximum 3 sessions in a week. So it is less than 6 hours. Okay, we'll be dedicating to CSAT every week. And there will be practice assignments. There can be 10 questions or 15 questions. That's for you to solve, okay, in the morning or in the night, whenever you feel that you need that mental boost, you can do this thing. Okay, and we are planning approximately 18 sessions. So these classes won't be more than 50 hours. Okay, and there'll be very much interactive classes, so you also will be solving questions in the class. So it's not just that you have to attend the whole class and then go back and practice those questions. No, we'll be solving these questions here also, so that you can that practice thing is included in this 50 hours. After that, there will be 3 full-length mocks also, and three of these mocks plus 7 or 8 previous year papers. That should be around 10 CSAT papers. And if you are able to do this thing, no, you're sorted for CSAT. There is no going around. There is no question about it. Okay, so now I have this 2024 paper. Before we take a look at this paper, if any one of you has some questions, you can ask. Any doubt? Anyone? Yeah, you can type, Shaista. Okay, Shaista, you can type your question. I'll take it up. Okay, so now in this paper, no, we'll be looking at how this paper we could attempt, like how we can find the doable parts in this paper. Okay, so for passages, I told you I'll be telling you what I used to do, and if you do this, these passages are like God's gift to you, and you'll be sailing through it. No, there won't be any stress about this. Okay, so passages we'll be doing. Now here comes the first question, the fourth question. This is a simple word sequence based questions. If you know how to do it, it won't take you more than 10 or 15 seconds to attempt this question. Next question, if you see, okay, there are lots of numbers here, and this is simple profit and loss interest sort of question. If you know the formula, you can do it. Otherwise, you can see that it is going to take a bit of some calculation. So you can also avoid it for the now. Yes, Amit, there will be full length tests. Okay, as I told, there will be 3 full length tests in the course. Okay, and they'll be discussed in the class also. Okay, so this question I particularly won't start attempting it. I'll first try to solve all the questions that are very less time consuming. Now, the sixth question, it's a very easy question. If you know how to change percentages into decimals, that will be very easy. But look at the options here: 48.75%, 56.25%. 60 to 50%, 62.25%. These numbers are very, they are not easily calculatable. Okay, there are four numbers here. So even if the question seems easy, you have to keep in mind that I'll have to do some calculation here. It will take some time, and if you are not good at speedy calculations, you should leave this question for now. You should find the questions where the answers are simple and you can do it. Now this question, a number mistakenly, if you read this question, even it has some very weird 93.75%, 25%, this kind of number, but this question is very easily solvable. If you can do it, it will not take you more than 2 minutes. Reading the question and making the equation, this is simple percentage sort of problem. If you know how to calculate percentages, even the basic formula that a fifth grader will know, you can do this question. Eighth question, very simple question. Okay, Venn diagram question, just 2 circles you'll be needing to solve this question, not more than that. And if you practice well, you won't even need to draw those circles. You can just do it by 2 line of calculation. This again is age related question. You can find age related question in every year's paper, so we have to do this topic, and we have to do basics only, so we don't have to go way above. It is a very simple question. All you need to do is make an equation and you can solve it. This is simple conversion thing. One thing I would like to tell you about UPSC is that in 1 year UPSC will be giving you a hint. Okay, that question will be very simple, and you might not see it that you might feel it is a bit difficult for you. You might not have prepared in that area, but if a question seems simple, no, try and solve a few questions related to that, because there is a possibility UPSC is going to raise the standard of that question. This is one such question. Okay, this is simple metric conversions. Okay, we don't need it in real life, but UPSC wants you to know it, so we have to learn it. Okay, now we'll be reading those conversions also. Again, passages, God's gift. Okay, just be happy that you had passages. Okay, for this page, I'll keep this page for the last. Okay, because it will involve a lot of calculations. Okay, there are some weird numbers here and here, so I won't be solving these questions right away. I'll be solving my passages. I'll be moving to the question that I can solve easily. Here it is. I told you, there was last year there was a question that it was about cutting into cubes. How many cubes will have less 1 or 2 sides painted? This is taking it a bit forward. Same question, very easy, just a twist on that question. Okay, and when we solve it in our classes, you'll know how it is. Very simple question. Now this question seems very easy on the look of it. The numbers are seemingly very small, but you have to see that there are at least 4 symbols, and for those 4 symbols you will have how many, like at least 24 permutation combinations. You can't do this thing now to find this question, to find this answer. And some coaching person will tell you, okay, 0 is the least number, so you can pick it. Okay, you can take a blind guess, but that is the wrong answer here. There is a simple mathematical, what they say, common sense that you can use in this question to solve it. This is work day question. Again, this is work day question. So 2 questions of the same nature. If you have prepared work time and work problems, you could have solved both of the questions. Okay, they are very easy. And now this thing, the consecutive zeros, trailing zeros, it has been a concept that UPSC has been asking for last 3 years consecutively. It started with a very small number. Now it has reached, see, 200. It has gone, if you see this expression, it is raised to the power 50. Who's going to do that? Looks very difficult, but actually it is very easy. Answer will be here 55. But it is the simplest of the concept. You have to find the pairs of 2 and 5. Okay, very simple question. In the exam, trust me, it's one of the simplest question you can attempt in this paper. This thing, simple series question, might look like calendar, but it is actually number system question. When we solve it, you'll see it. So this is what perception game is. UPSC is presenting this as a calendar question, but actually it is a series question. You need to know what perfect squares and what perfect cubes are. If you know this thing and you know how to write this question in a simple series, very easy question to attempt. Passages. Okay, so these are the questions I will be attempting on my exam day in the first go only. This is from last passage, and this is very easy question. Looks lengthy. If you read it right, here is the hint. Greatest two-digit number, that is 99. If 99, you have to find what sums will give 99, and then you can easily solve this question. One of this 26, one of the easiest questions in the paper. Okay, if you know basics of the averages, you know, if you read it, if you know what basics of the averages is, it won't even take you I think less than a minute it will take to solve this question. Very simple calculations also. And there are again, this is clock question, and this is also very simple question. And all you can what you could have done in exam now, you could have just used your watch, your allowed analog watch now, to solve this question. It will take less time. Okay, then if you don't know how to solve it, so you have to be aware of that also. This calendar question, same calendar, simple formula, you can do it. Now this is one more question. Okay, on the face of it, it looks like you'll be needing to solve all these things, but if you know basics of this integers and even odd number, you'll find that you can do this question very easily, very easily. You won't even need to solve it. Again, this a clock question, you can either learn the formula, it's a very simple formula, or you can just play with your watch in the exam also. Now, passages. Okay, I have got like how many? I have got 4 free questions in passages. This thing, divisibility rules. Okay, UPSC has been asking divisibility rules for some time now. Every year they are upping their game, like they are making these questions more specialized. This is a very easy question. Okay, and you all you need to know is a simple a basic, and not more than that. You won't even need to calculate it also. Okay, and it is that easy. Now this question 36. Okay, it's a very simple question. You can solve it by logical reasoning only. You don't need to do any calculation also. But otherwise we'll be taking up mixtures and allegations in the class also, so you can verify your answer that way also. Now, rightmost digit preceding 0 in 30 raised to the power 30. Okay, one thing, never be afraid of large numbers in UPSC. The larger the number seems, the easier the question will be. Here 30 raised to the power 30, we'll learn it in the class and it will be very easy. Okay, now same thing, math, we can do it. All these questions, no, they are very simple. Okay, all you need is time to learn, and if you want to leave these questions, leave for now. And then hell won't be loose if you leave these questions. If you are not comfortable, just leave, but we'll be discussing them in class. Again, passages, a lot of free questions for me. Now these are the questions I was talking about earlier. These are the questions. See, 45th question. How big is this question? How do you do this thing in exam condition? This question, and same 44th question, 45th question, such big questions. You don't really need to you'll be afraid to look at this question only, let alone solving it. But the truth is, the bigger the question look, the simpler the answer would be. But what you have to do is, you need to read these statements carefully, and you need to know what these statements mean. Okay, in most of the questions you won't even need to solve these things. Okay, this is the question, who received the least amount. Okay, yeah, they have given some things. If you can make the equation, if there are 3 variables, you will need at least 3 equations to solve it. If you can find it out, then okay, good. But one thing is, okay, you have to know what the statement is asking. Statement is asking, can you solve this question by just one statement, or can you solve this question with the help of 2 statements? Can you solve this question? Can both these statements, they cannot solve you cannot solve this question with this. You have to learn these statements, because there are so many questions. on the same pattern in the exam. Okay, so it is very simple. You can do this. Next is again, see, so many questions of the same kind. So if you are thinking, I'm not going to solve this question, this kind of question, I'm not going to touch, so you are in trouble. And these are very simple questions. Okay, these are very simple questions. All you need to do is just read the statements and know what these questions mean, and you'll be able to solve it very easily. In some of the questions you won't even need to write with the pen. See, again, look at the length of these questions. 2 questions on just one page. That is what I was telling, that the paper has become so lengthy. Just by the length of it, it will scare you. Passages. Okay, we'll solve these. And now these are the questions that you can solve with common sense also. This question, okay, 260-page book. How many number 5s used? So all you need to do is, you can solve it manually also. How many, in 1 to 10, 5 will appear once. In 10 to 15, 5 will appear once. So this is how you calculate the total number of 5s that are there. So it is just a common sense question, nothing needed. Now, first 28 terms in the following. Okay, this is number sequence. Can anybody tell me how the sequence is coming here? Anybody? Just look at this sequence and tell me what is the pattern being followed here. It's very simple. Anybody want to try?
मैम रिवर्सल ऑफ द सीक्वेंस लाइक फर्स्ट इज 112 देन एक डिजिट और ले लिए 132 देन 1432
Sorry, I lost this question. Wait. Yeah, correct. You can just complete this sequence, like there is 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. So whatever it is coming in between 1 and 2 3 4 5, then 1, there's 6 5 4 3 2. It will be like that. You can write it up to 28 terms, and then you can count the number of digits, and then you can simply find the sum of it. Very easy. Okay, so this is how you need to learn. Okay, find to identify this sequences. Sequences are very easy in this exam. Okay, so don't be afraid to learn that thing. Now, this is some profit loss question. Okay, we'll do it in the class. Now, this kind of questions also has been coming in the exam, and they are very easy. Okay, two-digit number. You might have practiced it in previous year questions also. Okay, now this is something we'll do in class. And I've not read this question, so let's move on to other question. The passages, yes, I'm very happy when passages are coming. Now 63 question again. See the length of this paper, length of these questions. Oh my god, this is one question you can do easily. This is logical reasoning. This kind of question they used to ask till 2019. After that, they have stopped asking this kind of question. So once you know how to put this data into table, how to interpret this data, this becomes a very easy question for you. Okay, similar this kind of question. Now this question I won't do it because it has so many things to do. I'll keep it for the last. It's easy, but I won't be attempting the first go. I'll still be searching for the easier questions to do. Now this is a question. You have to write the sequence. You have to write whatever it is given there. You have to put it into number, and then you have to come to an answer. Okay, it is easy. You can do it. And now these are the questions, a logical reasoning. You cannot simply miss these kind of questions. Okay, these are very easy questions. You have to know how to do it, and once you know, it won't even take 10 seconds to do these questions. Okay, and they are very easy. We'll do it in the class. Again, there is some sort of sequence, and by the rule of sequences, we know that if there is such a jump in the numbers, it is all either multiplication with addition or subtraction, or some squares, or like that kind of sequence. So just by a little bit of effort, we can find what the sequence is all about. Again, this question will be very easy. All you need to do is to learn how to put all this data into at some table form or in whatever way you are comfortable with. Passages, thank God for the passages. Okay, now this divisibility rule. You can see this again, right? This is a very simple question. You won't even need to, write down with your pen. Okay, so let's solve it here, okay, to give you some confidence. What is 32? Write 32 in powers of 2. Can anybody tell me? If I write 32 in powers of 2, what that would be?
2 raised to power 5.
Yeah, 2 raised to power 5 and, sorry, then again raised to the power 5. So that becomes 2 raised to power 25, correct? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, this becomes 2 raised to the power 25. Here 2 raised to the power 27. I take 2 raised to the power 25 common, and then I'll be left with 1 plus 5. 1 plus 4 in the bracket. Can you see that? 2 raised to the power 2 will be left in the bracket. 1 plus 2 raised to the power 2, that will be 4. So I will be having 2 raised to the power 25 into 5. And 2 into 5 becomes 10. So this number will be divisible by 10 because I have a 10 at the end. Did you follow that? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the question where you didn't even need to calculate on paper. So this kind of questions will be there also. So now this positive integer, this 2 direction questions, anyway, you can solve it. Okay, directions, all you need is to learn these things. And this kind of question, okay, earlier in post 2015 they used to ask this kind of questions where you have to make some logical decisions or reasoning, your decision making abilities will be tested. So let's read this question. It's a very good question and everyone will be able to answer this question. Okay, these are 2 statements given. The statement is we have to test if the conclusion are following or not. India is the world's largest producer of milk. Okay, so first rule is that we are never going to question the statement. These are given as facts and we are taking everything that has been written here as fact. Okay, India is world's largest producer of the milk. Conclusion 1, India is the world's largest exporter of the milk. Can you conclude it from the first statement?
No.
No, right? India can be largest consumer of the milk also. So we might not have left enough milk to export. So we cannot be the largest. There are chances that we are not the largest exporter of the milk. Now, so statement 1, conclusion 1 does not follow. Second is India does not import milk. Can that happen? Is it possible?
No.
Yeah, because milk, they have not specified it. Now that milk can be powder milk also. India imports a lot of powdered milk. Okay, from New Zealand. So that this conclusion also won't follow. So this question you can solve within seconds just by using common sense. So both of the conclusion are not following here. Okay, now again these 2 questions, they are very easy. Okay, we can do it in the same manner. You can the question is, what are the values of m and n if m and n are natural numbers? First of all, you all need to know what natural numbers are. I hope everybody knows it. It's like any number that is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, not the negative ones. They are the natural numbers. Now statement 1 tells you m plus n, this information is given, and second statement tells you the product of m and n is 24. Okay, so there are only a few possible combinations that can give you product of 24. Okay, 12 into 2, 3 into 11, this kind of 3 into 8, this kind of combinations are possible. And then but this will not tell you what m and n are. You need statement 1 to answer it. Once you have statement 1, you can easily deduce what these m and n are. So you will be needing both the statements to answer this question. Okay, you don't need to solve this question, but you can you will be needing both the statements. Okay, so your answer will be a statement. The question can be answered by using both the statements together, but cannot be answered using one statement alone. Okay, if I know m and n, if I only know the combinations, I won't be knowing that m in greater, which number is m or which number is n. I need to know which is greater than n. Okay, so this is exactly knowing, for exactly knowing what the numbers are, you will need the first statement. Now the last question. The question is, what is the time required to download the software? Okay. Now in statement 1, they have given you just the size of the software, 12 megabytes. Unless you know the rate at which this download will happen, this information is useless. So statement 1 in itself will never be sufficient to answer this question. Now we move on to second statement. The transfer rate is 2.4 kilobytes per second. Yeah, I know the rate now. Okay, if I know the conversion, how kilobytes will be converted into megabytes, and if I multiply that thing with the rate of conversion, I can tell how much time will be required to download the software. I can tell, yeah, both the statements are needed. So this question, we don't even need to solve it, and we have reached to right answer. Okay, so do you see that this paper, though it seems lengthy, but if you know how to target it, it can be very easy also. All you need is to have that kind of patience and that kind of an eye where you can actually find those doable parts. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, any questions? Yeah? Shaista, you have a question. In 2024, you attempted 50 questions. Okay. 23. Okay. Okay, Shaista, you need not be anxious because CSAT will only get improved with practice. You have to practice, and once you are, even if you attempt 2 or 3 papers, no, you'll be back into that zone where you are solving 50 questions. So need not worry about it. Just revise your basics and start practicing. You'll be doing very good. If you solved 50 questions in 2024 now, that was a good score. Don't worry about it. You are good to go. Anyone? Any doubts? So tomorrow we'll be having one session for reading comprehensions. We'll be analyzing how reading comprehensions are designed by the UPSC, and our target will be to finish those reading comprehensions in under 30 minutes without wasting our time in reading everything. We'll be using the knowledge that you already have to solve those questions. Okay, so tomorrow that session I'll be taking, and that session again will be open to all, and you all are most welcome. And post that next session, it will be about basic math and some mathematical tricks and things that you need to learn to have speedy calculations that I used. I'll be telling you those. Welcome, Shaista. So, and this is it from my side. I now hand over the whole session to Puneet sir. Sir.
Yeah, anyone has any doubt? Shasta, you couldn't clear 2023, and what about 2024? You attempted 50 questions, practiced a lot. Despite that, line so you were clearing CSAT in 2024, right?
So in 2024 also, I was reading CSAT, but sir, GS was dicey, sir.
Hmm.
GS में सर मेरे 92 के अप्रोक्स बन रहे थे सर, डिफरेंट की से 92 से 95 के बीच में सर.
Okay.
सर मेरा, मैंने आपको मैसेज भी किया था सर कि मेरा 90% की हो जाएगा, बट नहीं हुआ सर 2024 फिर से. बट सर इस बार सर कुछ सर और भी चीज है सर. एंड एक्चुअली मैंने आपसे बात की थी सर, मेरी
बिल्कुल
मतलब
बिल्कुल
वो
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
बात
आई
की थी,
रिमेम्बर.
जॉब से रिलेटेड बात की थी. अभी
हाँ.
सर मेरे एक एग्जाम भी लगा हुआ है सर. एक तो वाइल्ड लाइफ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंडिया में साइंटिस्ट का है सर, बिकॉज वेटनरी डॉक्टर में सर, तो वहाँ पे सर एक पोस्ट आई हुई है, तो मैं उसके लिए पिक कर रही हूँ अभी थोड़ा प्रिपेयर। और सर सर अभी मैं थोड़ा जॉब से छुट्टी लेके पीएचडी करने के लिए जा रही हूँ। मेरा
ओके
पीएचडी एंट्रेंस है सर 5th को। तो सर आपसे मेरी बात हुई थी, मैं ऐसी जगह से पीएचडी करने जा रही हूँ सर जहाँ पे जहाँ पे बर्डन नहीं होगा सर इतना। सर
ठीक
मैं
है
मोस्ट ऑफ वही है सर, इस बार मैं अटेम्प्ट सर मैं आपसे बात करूंगी मतलब
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक
आफ्टर
है
दिस
ठीक है
सेशन सर।
ठीक है
थैंक यू सर फॉर दिस सेशन सर,
ओके
थैंक यू सर।
ओके वेलकम नेक्स्ट डाउट timing we have shared. So tomorrow we'll be having this session on reading comprehension. Please do attend and learn how to get the edge over reading comprehension. Okay. Okay, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Aditi, you are the host, so you have to end the session.